All right, guys, welcome back. 1776 or bust on the table. The FN 509 MRD, which is basically the medium-sized handgun. This is not the tactical version, so it doesn't have the longer grip. This is more of a Glock 19 size handgun. Interestingly enough, I've had this gun for quite a while, and I've done absolutely no reviews on it. So I figured this would be a good way to kind of give you my initial impression and sort of midway impression as well, because some things have changed with this handgun over time. Things that are more of a preference for me, not necessarily for you, and maybe not even necessary for the gun as a whole, but for me, it makes a difference and I enjoy it. So I'm going to do what I want since it's my gun. So anyway, let's take a look at the gun. Let's look over it. Let's compare it to some other fan favorites, I guess you can say. And then I'll kind of give you my initial impression overview, or overall view, I should say. So out of the box, you're going to notice that things have some change here. So obviously I have an optic mounted on here, and we'll talk about that first. So the really nice thing about the 509 MRD is that it comes standard with all the plates you're going to need for just about every single optic. Now, some of you may say that's not a big deal, but I'm going to tell you that it is, in my opinion. You know, when you look at some of the competitors out there, a lot of the competition already is putting out these optic-ready handguns, and they really are coming with almost a complete package. To me, the 509 MRD is the complete package for any optic pistol out there right now, and I'll talk a little bit about that and the reason why I feel that way in a minute. But what you have to realize is when you buy this gun, you're going to get all the plates that you need. You don't have to go aftermarket. You don't have to pay a ridiculous price just to get one standard optic mounting plate. In this case, it comes inclusive with the gun. The gun also came with suppressor height sights that were blacked out. I've already changed those out because I do like to have a little bit of color. Although I don't know if I made the right decision going with the blue. I'm not exactly impressed with it, but at the same time, it's still much more noticeable than a blacked front. Again, you have the Holosun 508T on this bad boy. It's not even on, actually. It's off. I shut it off. But you can see that you do get some co-witnessing there, which is kind of nice. Some people will say you don't need it. Again, I'm not great with these dots just yet, so it does help me, I guess, kind of set up that dot. But again, that's me. Again, I'm not an expert at all. I'm just giving you what I say may work for me. In regards to controls on this handgun, everything is ambidextrous, which is actually, in my opinion, a plus, especially for left-handed shooters. Although there is one little hang up, and I'll talk about that as well. But you can see that your slide lock, slide release is on both sides. You also have a mag release on both sides, so you don't have to switch it over. So the gun is totally ambidextrous out of the box too. So you're looking at plates already included, optic height sights or suppressor height sights, whatever you want to call it, for co-witnessing. And then, of course, you have the ambi features. So out of the box, you're getting pretty much everything and anything you'd want out of a gun, especially on the optic market. Now, to me, the biggest downfall of this handgun was the hinge trigger. I hate the hinge triggers. The M&Ps and the FNs, you need to just, fart those out and get them done. I don't like them. They're not for me. I'm not saying that it destroys the gun in any way. But for me, I don't like them. So as a result, I changed them out. You can see I already put the Apex trigger in there. I did mushroom the pin, pushing this pin back in. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you choose to do this, get the block that is, sold by Apex. It's pretty cheap. Next time, if I get one of these, because I am looking at the compact, not going to lie, I will definitely get that block because I'm hoping it'll make a big difference, because this thing was a pain in the ass to get out. Very difficult, not for the weak-hearted at all. Nonetheless, the Apex trigger went on, and this gun has become a dream to shoot. Unfortunately, I've not really shot it that much. That's going to change this weekend or probably next, because I do got to get this out. I do intend on carrying this in the next month coming up because I just love the gun overall. Now, mag release, again, it's fairly positive. It's not super pushing out the magazine or anything, but it'll do its job. The magazines I have, unfortunately, are two 10-round magazines. Great. And again, it's a complete gun. You've got your front and rear serrations, as you can see right there. You've got your little FN symbol there, and of course your 509 right there. So it's fairly basic. It's pretty generic. I mean, there's nothing that's saying, hey, look at me, I'm a 509. You also kind of have this little beveled out area of your slide, which is kind of nice. And really, there's like a nice little curvature to the slide. And oh my God, I'm pointing it at the camera. You can see it is slightly boxy, but at the same time, it does have some nice lines. So for holstering and holstering and unholstering your gun, you should have a better time of actually getting in. As a matter of fact, I'll show you this little thing. This is my Harry's holster right here. Boom. Nice and perfect fit, by the way. That's a little plug for Harry. But this is a great holster. Love it. Love this clip. Did a great job with this holster. I love it. In regards to some of the other features, again, you can see that you do have the mounting plate right here. It does come with several of them. This is RMR / Hollow Sun fit. And then it has a bunch of others. Again, I don't have the kit in front of me, so I can't read them off to you, but just trust me on it or read about it. You know, fit and finish is really good. I know there's been some controversies about the striker braking. So, of course, I upgraded that as well with the Apex striker. Now, some people may say, yeah, but you're buying a pretty or fairly expensive gun to do more work on it. But you know what, guys? You don't necessarily have to do that. As a matter of fact, anytime you see a lot of these Gucci guns and all that stuff, you got to understand that you don't have to do that. You don't have to get an Apex. You don't have to get the reinforced striker. I just do it because if I have an opportunity to better my handgun, then that's what I'm going to do. And I've been able to do that. So I'm very lucky to have had that opportunity to get some of these parts. One of the other things that I've already done with this gun too is I've actually put the M Carbo kit, $20 kit, 4 different springs. That with the combination of the Apex stuff, including the Apex sear that's in here, just ridiculous. That's all I can say. I mean, this gun was pulling close to 7 pounds when I initially got it. So I'm going to just show you what has happened to this gun since that time. So here we go. I'm going to give you a trigger pull here if I can find the trigger. Beep. So right now I'm getting 4 pounds, 13.8 ounces on the first trigger pull. And I bet it's going to get lighter. 4 pounds, 3.1 ounces. So I just usually do it twice. So the average is about 4 pounds, 8.5 ounces. So, you know, guys, you don't have to do it, but I will tell you that just doing those two things have made this gun, I have to say, probably one of my favorites. You know, comparatively speaking, if you're looking for a gun that is around the Glock 19 size, again, this will fit into that ballpark. To kind of give you an example, and I will pop the magazine out here since the magazine is out on the F509. If you do compare these side by side, I'll do my best to show it to you. They are, again, virtually identical in size. The actual bottom of the grip actually meets up perfectly with the front of the Glock. The rear of the grip is a little bit longer, but I mean, it is as negligible as you can get. You probably can't see it very well on camera, but it's very, very tiny difference between the two. Again, you know, if you want to compare slide heights, obviously the 509 is going to be a little bit taller in the slide height factor, but not by a heck of a lot. And then you can tell it's a little bit more rounded versus the blocky Glock. Again, if that's not enough of a comparison, the gun that I feel this is mostly related to is the actual M&P 2.0 series. As a matter of fact, if you put them side by side, even the profile of the rear on both these guns is almost identical. It's kind of scary when you think about it. Again, looking at the size of both guns, oh my God, it's a loaded gun. What you're going to realize too is you're going to have a gun, and if you know this, the 2.0 is about the same size as a Glock. These are identical. I mean, they're absolutely 100% identical. I think a lot of the styling cues of the 2.0, the FN really shares a lot of that with. Even the way this slide is kind of cut out here a little bit on the 2.0, you can see that the design is very similar here on the 509. So, I mean, overall, it's a really solidly built handgun. Now, I do have another gun just to kind of show you the difference. You got the APX, the RDO, which, for God's sakes, Beretta, could you please give some aftermarket support for this? Okay, sorry about that, guys. But one of the things you're going to realize even with this, the Centurion is, again, more of like a Glock 19 size pistol. The Centurion has a bit of a shorter grip, but again, with that magazine, it does extend it out, so it will match the grip with this. And of course, the muzzle on the 509 is slightly longer, whereas the APX is shorter. So, I mean, there's a lot of comparable guns out there. So if you're familiar with any of those three that I showed you, this gun falls in that same ballpark size-wise. So it is definitely a really good option for you to use. All the controls work very well. I have had no issues with activating the slide, even on the left-hand side, which is actually kind of nice. You know, some of these guns tend to be a little bit tight, especially for left-handed people, when it shouldn't be. So let's kind of talk about the one issue that I had with the gun when I was shooting it. And this was before I put all the Apex stuff in there and everything else. But one of the things I noticed was that the mag release is pretty bulky. It comes out quite a bit from the side, and you guys can see that right there, that it does stick out. It is a considerable thing when you're holding this gun, because as you go to shoot it, depending on how much pressure you're applying, especially with that support hand, I've actually activated the mag release and had the mag pop out. Again, that happened one time and only one time, but I thought it was kind of an interesting thing because it's never really happened to me before in any other handgun, just this one. But I do think it has to do with just the butt of this sticking out just a little bit too much. I mean, overall, this gun to me is the most complete handgun. It comes with everything you'd want out of the box. You've got suppressor height sights. You've got all the plates you need. You've got a fairly decent trigger out of the box. The ergonomics are very good. You have the ambi controls. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And honestly, guys, I think it is the complete one. Now, of course, there are some people out there who will disagree, and that's fine. But, you know, again, if you look at the competitors out there, whether it's the RDO or the Glock or the CZs or really any of these guns, even the Masada, you're not going to see that complete package. Now, of course, price is going to be arguably higher because it comes with more options. But again, if this was going to be the gun and the only gun you buy that's an optic ready one, I would say save your money and buy it because it is worth it. Now, again, you don't have to do some of the things that I've done here. However, I do think for me, it works better. I will be taking this gun out to shoot again. I've had this gun for so long and I haven't done anything with it. So I don't even remember where I put the footage when I shot this stock. So I'm going to have to, unfortunately, tell you what I think after I actually shot it again with all these goodies in here. I can't wait to actually shoot it. I actually might even remove the dot. I'm not sure yet because, again, I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm not that great with it just yet. But overall, it's been a really nice gun. I think it has a lot of good features. I think FN did a great job with this handgun. I'm very interested in the compact model of this. As a matter of fact, I may be having to sell something else to do it. And it might surprise you. And I think I'm going to make a video on why I'm going to sell this gun. But there's a good reason for it. It's really more out of frustration than anything else. Again, guys, you know, take the video for what it's worth. You know, there are some people who like the gun, some people who will not like the gun no matter what. But again, if you're looking for that, in my opinion, complete package out of the box, so you don't have to do anything with it right away, and over time, if you choose to, you can, I really can't see you going wrong with this. You're not going to need sights. You're not going to need a new trigger right away, if at all. You don't have to worry about ambi controls. And again, that's if you're a lefty versus a righty. But overall, you're getting a solid package out of a gun. Now, of course, hopefully the prices will keep coming down as time goes on. FN tends to be priced a little bit higher than everybody else. But again, I would say comparable to other models like the Glock and even those CZs, although you can find the CZs a little bit cheaper than most. But again, you're not getting a lot of options with that in regards to your plates or anything like that. So I'd love to hear what you have to say. Chime in down below. Tell me what you think about the FN 509 MRD. What were your initial impressions when you got it, if you have one, or if you're even looking at one, why would you pick it up or why not? Again, guys, I appreciate everybody watching. Thank you for watching all these videos. I have to say I was very impressed with the P10S versus the 2.0 subcompact video. It just did really well, and I appreciate that, guys. It means a lot to me that people are watching this channel and keep making it grow. So I hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe, and as always, everyone, freedom is never free.